Welcome back to Season 2 of the Inspire podcast. The first episode features guest host Abdul Mozzamdar, who interviews Julie Nugent, Director of Productivity and Skills from the West Midlands Combined Authority. During the podcast, Abdul asked Julie what West Midlands Combined Authority are doing to fill the skills gap in construction. They also talk about ways of inspiring young men and women to work in the West Midlands through early careers programmes. I hope you enjoy episode 1, and I look forward to bringing you more content in season 2, inspiring ordinary people to achieve great things.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the next edition of the Inspire podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Dr. Julie Nugent. Hello, Julie.
Hi. So I'm Julie Nugent. I'm Director of Productivity and Skills at the West Midlands Combined Authority, and with my colleagues we're really working to make sure that the economic growth that this region is experiencing at the moment is there to create lots of new opportunities for our young people, our residents and our businesses.
That's a fantastic introduction. Thank you very much, Julie. So today we're meeting Julie to discuss the fantastic work that the West Midlands Combined Authority are doing within the West Midlands region, and really to tell our clients a bit more about what you do and funding and initiatives that are available for both adults and for young people. And today I'm going to ask you a few questions, in particular around the construction industry and early careers and apprenticeships within the industry. So the first question I have for you, Julie, is can you tell me a bit about the work that West Midlands Combined Authority are doing in the early career space and in particular within the construction industry?
Yeah. So as I said, it's a fantastic time to be in the West Midlands at the moment. We're seeing increases in our productivity, increases in employment levels, lots of new investment coming into the region, Commonwealth Games, City of Culture, a lot going on. And if you walk across any of our cities, you see the cranes, you see all the construction work that's going on. So lots of opportunities. But I think for us in the Combined Authority, one of the things that we're really determined is to make sure that more of our residents can access those opportunities. And then there's a twofold reason for that. One is making sure that people benefit from that investment, but secondly, making sure that employers get access to local talent, to local skills. So we're doing a lot of work to really revolutionise the training that we do here. We've been helped with the devolution of the adult education budget, so about 126 million a year comes through us now. Wow. And then we've had particular retraining funds on things like digital and construction. And what we're trying to do is to start with what do employers need. So don't just put on a course that gives you a qualification. What are our employers actively looking to source at the moment, looking to recruit? So for example, some of the work we've done around HS2 has been around grounds work, getting actual people trained up to start developing the sites to get ready for, hopefully, for HS2 coming through. And we took a very different approach. We sat down with some of the big employers. We said, who is it you're looking to recruit? What are the challenges you're facing, the skill shortages you're facing? And let's work with you to design a course that gives you exactly the skills that you want. But more than that, let's work with the local job centres, let's work with the local colleges to make sure we have that throughput of people coming through that want to work, want a decent job, want a good wage. So how do we make sure we're exploring all the talent that's out there, but giving people new opportunities? And we've had some brilliant successes, whether it's getting young homeless men into work, whether it's women into construction, making sure that we're exploring opportunities for veterans, for ex-offenders, really looking at where is it that we know that people want to work, we can give them the right kind of skills, the right kind of experience and opportunities, and working with employers to make sure that there's that access to a talent pool locally.
That is absolutely brilliant. And are you finding that the employers are engaging with you? Are they interested in what you have to offer?
Increasingly, I think it's, if I'm honest, to begin with, people are a little bit cynical. We've heard it all before, training courses that promise a lot and don't deliver, but we've set out to work with, we have a construction task force that Balfour Beatty chair for us, and we've brought on many of the big employers, some of their supply chains, and hopefully we've sort of done exactly what we said we would. Tell us what your training needs are, work with us. You have to invest time into giving us the specifics of what it is you're looking for, but if you do that, then we'll work with you to source that talent and to train up people into those roles. So we've now got, particularly in construction, and we're rolling the model out to things like digital and the professional services, but certainly in construction, we've got some brilliant employers that are working with us and are actively involved in this campaign.
Brilliant, fantastic. And why do you think effective early careers and apprenticeship programs are important in filling the current and increasing skills shortages within the construction industry?
So lots of reasons. If I differentiate, I think apprenticeships for us are a brilliant opportunity for adults, but also for young people, that give you those skills on the job payment while you learn. University isn't for every youngster, and often adults want to career change, want to learn new skills and develop. So this is something that hopefully meets a different kind of learning style, so you can get paid, you can develop your skills, you can really start to progress. I think now that we have degree apprenticeships, we do the whole range from level 2 right up to level 6 and beyond potentially. So it's a great opportunity for people to develop their careers at any age. But certainly for young people, we recommend it as an alternative potentially to university. There are benefits. You don't come out with a big loan, for example. But also it gives you that foot in the door. And if you work with a good company that's keen to develop your career, develop your talent, then it's a win-win situation.
Absolutely. I mean, do you think there's been a greater uptake with the apprenticeships, in particular with the introduction of the apprenticeship levy?
I think nationally, and we're no different in the West Midlands, there was a downturn with a range of things going on with apprenticeships. There was the levy, there was the move from towards standards from frameworks, and lots of different things going on at the same time. So I think the market did see a massive fall in apprenticeships. We've bounced back quicker than the national average, and we're seeing an increase now. I think lots of companies, particularly those that were newer to apprenticeships, so some of the big financial companies, have really started to think about their talent management and how they recruit and source using their levy to best effect. We've got a scheme in the West Midlands, our apprenticeship levy pot, where basically a lot of companies that said they weren't going to use their levy, pool it in the West Midlands, and we're using that to support SMEs, making sure that we're funding the full cost of that apprenticeship for them.
I mean, that is brilliant news. That is good news for SMEs within the West Midlands. And how do they access that funding?
So the easiest thing is to make contact with us, and we'll give you some details for that to find out about how you can do that. I think what we'd say is often, whilst construction has been a sector that's been very used to apprenticeships, at the same time often the stop-start nature of contracts mean people are reluctant to invest in that talent. And one of the messages we put out is young people are in competition, there are lots of opportunities around, so we really promote the need to invest in your future workforce, and for us apprenticeships are a really good way of doing that.
That's a fantastic message. Brilliant, thank you very much. Okay, and what advice would you give to construction employers who wish to utilise the apprenticeship levy to either take on new apprentices or upskill their existing staff? Where can they go for advice and information?
So we come to us as a starting point. I mean, we have a network of colleges, training providers that we work with, and particularly those that are specialist in construction areas. I think also the sector is changing, so yes, of course you have your traditional trades, but also we're seeing a big increase in more of the modern methods of construction, things like digital roles, and for us that's really important. Our local industrial strategy has a major push on digital, sort of golden thread that runs through every sector that's kind of critical to our economy. So we're really pushing out digital apprenticeships as well, whether that's in things like design or BIM, and making sure that young people particularly have access to a wider range of careers.
Brilliant. Okay, so obviously we've talked a bit about employers and how they can access funding, etc. So anybody within the West Midlands Combined Authority that wants to go into early careers, whether that's through an apprenticeship or graduates or whatever it may be, what advice do you have for them? Where can they go for advice and guidance?
It's one of the challenges for us as a region is we think that there aren't enough opportunities for young people to seek out that impartial careers guidance. So we're doing quite a lot of work with our colleges and local partners to try and get that right. I think for construction, there is work that we're doing to try and signpost people to the right courses, the right kind of advice for them, working with people like CITB, promoting a whole range of careers there. So it's difficult sometimes, but don't give up. And I think your starting point should be your local college or your local training provider to begin to ask for that information. But look on our website as well. We've got information coming soon.
Brilliant. Okay. And what is WMCA currently doing to help adults improve their career prospects? Because obviously, as you mentioned earlier, with apprenticeships now there is no age limit, and it goes from level 2, which is equivalent to GCSEs, all the way up to level 7, which is master's degrees. Yeah. So what advice would you give them?
So one of our sort of major opportunities, I guess, as a region, but one of our challenges is we have a lot of people already in the workforce, often with low skills, maybe not many qualifications, possibly on low wages. and we really want to help those people to upskill, to reskill. So it's not just about young people for us. So
brilliant.
one of our challenges is how do we get out to people? They might be working in construction already, looking to diversify, to develop new skills. They might be in other sectors looking to move. So again, working with our network of colleges and training providers, really pushing out the message that training isn't just for young people.
Absolutely.
It's really important for all of us. A lot of work that we've been doing around digital in particular, as we get more and more automation, what does that mean for jobs of the future? And let's not just sit back and wait for it to happen. Let's try and make sure we're giving people the skills now so that they can not just cope with the changes that technology brings, but actively benefit from those.
That's fantastic. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay. As this is our Inspire podcast, what would you say to inspire young men and women around the West Midlands?
So I'm a Brummie anyway,
Okay.
so I'm obviously a little... well, I'm not impartial. I just think the West Midlands is a fabulous place to be at the moment. I think there's so much opportunity. I think it's a region where you can have a great lifestyle as well, and like others, you can afford to buy a house or a flat. You can live and work locally. I think there's so much happening. And really, I suppose that's part of the message of the Combined Authority, making sure that people see that and believe that, and that anything we can do to make sure we're linking people into those opportunities. So I think the region itself, and our young people, we talk a lot about being a very young region, and some of the talent that we see coming through some of our communities. Again, I think that's what's inspiring for us, helping to link in, whether they're older residents, whether they're young people, to new opportunities. That the benefit you get when people get a great new job working in an industry, and they might have been unemployed for a number of years, they might never have thought they'd get this. When you get that connection, when you see that return, that's the reason we get them.
The feel-good factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Finally, tell us about your journey into the role that you're currently in, and what inspired you. What inspired you? Who inspired you during your working life? And what gets you out of bed in the morning?
So I feel really fortunate to be working with this organisation and in this region. I've done lots of work nationally with government and funding quangos and being sort of on the policy side of things. I've done work locally with colleges and others to see how things kind of roll out on the ground. And I think what we have at the moment is an opportunity to do these things differently for the West Midlands. Part of the opportunity of devolution is taking power away from central government and saying what works for our residents, what works for our businesses. So devolution to me is a massive opportunity to get things right, to get things better, joining up in ways that I don't think central government has always done. So working with a brilliant group of people, both here and across local authorities, LEPs, colleges, some of our partners who care about doing the right thing, care about helping more people get into work, get better jobs. And actually, we've got some of the tools to do that. So it kind of feels that there's nothing stopping us. So, more of this, to be honest. So, feel very fortunate to have this role.
Well, Julie, fantastic. Thank you very much. I mean, the information that you've given us today about what you're doing as a combined authority is absolutely brilliant. What we'll also do is we'll put some links into the podcast as well for our listeners. If anybody's interested, you can click on the link and we'll give you further information. Well, Julie, thank you very much for your time. It was lovely speaking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.